optional, or they, with accredited model, something like that.
So do you think that in the future maybe lecturers or teachers will be phased out in that sense because we already have all these materials as available?
No, I don't think so. What do you mean phase out of what?
Because for example, there are a lot of times when all these lectures are already recorded online as e-learning materials.
Yeah.
So we see that there's a reduction in the importance of teachers because you don't need a teacher to be in the front to give the lectures. Instead, you can just go online and have access to all these materials.
Yeah, of course, it is the challenge for the lecturers and teachers professions. But I don't think so that the technology will really pass out of the teachers or lecturers. In some way, because we are not only talking about the effective efficiency of teaching learning process, but we also talking about the humanity. So humanity can be taught only by the development of technology. Should be taught by the human teachers and human lecturers, and this is only be able to teach by human. So therefore, I don't think so that in the future that the teachers will be replaced by the robots or by the e-learning process because they can access.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Any other questions? No. Yeah.
So I saw the Smart Education Expo booklets.
Yeah.
They actually have 10 different parts of smart classroom. So I would like to ask, right, within the 10 list of items, which one is the most important since it's very difficult to roll out all 10 things at once?
Yeah, I think of course this depends on the priority. So which priority? And in Indonesia now, the STEAM is our priority. So of course there are many choices, but we have to, our priority should be number one.
So next question from me is with all this STEAM learning, right? So most of the materials would be already been online, so students can download and refer back to themselves. As for us folks who graduated school, do you think it would be better for all these materials to be made public?
So what for the public?
As like if I want to refer back to something that is from school,
Yes.
so should I be able to download that? Like
Yeah.
public domain?
Yeah, I think when we are trying to improve and increase the capacity of our citizens, of the populations, even for alumni or for all the general people, they can access. I think it is good one. But of course, when you are talking about the business, so if everyone can access easily using internet, then they are not interested to go to school. So then the school will close. Then I don't think so like that, because of course that we can see, we can learn by ourselves through the internet, but there are many things, for example the methodology, the human touch, and also how to effective, efficient, and sometimes we need to confirmation whether what we learn is actually correct or not. But if we do not go to school, we only learning in internet, then it is we do not know whether it is correct or not. So therefore, even we are encouraging that still given to the public, but I'm sure that the business of education are still there.
Sorry, I have one more question.
Yeah.
So my question is, I understand, for example, in Indonesia we have probably rural areas as well. We have schools in rural areas, and probably technology or I'm not sure, maybe internet access is not readily accessible. How do we bring like all this digital transformation in education directly down to these schools?
So previously your question is appropriate and right. But now then we develop infrastructure, what we call it palaparing. So palaparing is like the satellite where each of island in Indonesia can have access of internet. Because in the previous years, especially in the eastern part of Indonesia, have difficulties to access internet. But now then we develop what we call it satellite palaparing, where the eastern part and middle part of Indonesia will already have access of internet. So in this case now, I don't think so now a problem. But maybe in some area still problem. But now we tackle the problem because of the satellite. But in other cases, that if, for example, they still cannot access the internet, then they can, copy using the USB, the modules. So even without internet, they can access the USB modules, module who copied using USB, and they can insert the computer, and then they can read, can access, can learn.
Thank you. So, you're trying to say that at the government level, we have all the infrastructure in place.
I think so.
Okay.
For the internet access. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
But of course, not each of student today has a computer, but access to the internet, because now most people are having the mobile phone. Maybe it's more than 80% of Indonesian are having the mobile phone, so they can access it.
So you mentioned that not everyone can afford a computer or maybe even a handphone. Are there any assistance that the government will be giving to all these citizens who can afford the hardware necessary to access all these, educational services?
Yeah. Of course, first about the satellites, so to make easier to access, and then second, I think each of the local government now trying to increase the access and the ability of the students to access. So it depends on the local government. So of course the central government already have infrastructure, but the local government trying also to increase the ability and capability of the student to access.
Okay, in regards of all the new stuff bringing into education, do you face any challenges in training the existing personnel and teachers, lecturers on picking up the skills?
Yes, of course, especially as I mentioned that the teachers or lecturers who already very seniors, because they are not having fast response to the new technologies. So they have difficulties to learn not as fast as native digital teachers or lecturers who usually below 30 years old. But if they are more than 55 or if 60, then they have difficulties. So in this case, of course, we have to have facilities. So the Ministry of Information, they providing courses and trying to develop what they call it teachers for teachers or training for trainers. So the training for trainers, the trainers, and they have to train the lecturers or teachers. But of course this takes time, because for the elderly it's not easy.
So the organization you mentioned is monitored by government or Ministry of Education?
Yeah, Ministry of Education in elementary up to high schools, but in the higher educations, this monitored by Ministry of Research, Technology and Higher Education.
Understand. Thank you.
Okay. Oh yeah, please.
Can you share with us the state of smart education implementation in Indonesia? Is it early stage or?
Yeah, for the smart education, especially smart classroom, of course, we are not only talking about e-learning. For e-learning, it is a national level, so all universities are, on the way to develop e-learning. But for smart classroom, it is not all university, only few universities. For example, University of Trisakti, where I'm working for, so we are already developing smart classroom, where using the eye three dimension eyeglasses, so they can like virtual laboratory, so they can, for example, for medical doctors, students, for student in medical education, no need cadaver, no need dead body, so they can operate using the virtual reality type of simulation, something like that.
Mostly the implementation is for the higher education. What about the lower education, like
Yeah.
elementary?
Of course, in lower education, I think I'm not quite sure because I'm working in the higher educations. But I can guess they also now trying, especially in urban, trying to expose as early as possible for student to access to the new technology like e-learning and virtual reality, artificial intelligence, and like that.
What do you think about the government commitment for
I think our government is very high commitment, but the problem is sometimes the resources we are facing. For example, in Indonesia, 20% of national budgets must be allocated for education, and you can imagine 20% of the whole budget, national budget, is huge actually. But because of maybe not really efficient and effective how to use this money, then it's really also real problem. So because the government then redistribute this budget through the local government, and the problem is whether the local government is really effective, efficient in using this budget. That is another challenge.
And what is the interesting new technology that you saw in this expo?
I think many things are interesting. For example,
Any particular?
yeah. For example, this one, when the doctor operations and they need, the patient should be given the medicine, so this can provide the medicine to the patients. And I think, yeah, not only this, but many the things are interesting in this, expo. Yeah.
Even though you have all these great technologies, dedication, there will always be someone who will not appreciate this technology.
Someone who,
Someone in the society is like, they know this thing is good, but they don't really appreciate this, so they don't get the idea of good things you must appreciate. So is there any initiative taken by government to kind of tackle with this kind of issues?
yeah, of course that we always promote that the university lecturers or someone who are not response to the new development of technology they will be left behind. And so if they are left behind, they cannot get up to date, then they will face problems. So for example, last week, the president of Indonesia launched new MRT. I think in Singapore MRT is already long time, but in Indonesia just recently. So in the MRT, the way to buy tickets and how to use the MRT, everything is changed. So if they do not respond and still do not appreciate to the new technology for transportation, for example, then they cannot use the MRT. What does it mean if they cannot use MRT? Meaning that they are, will use car, for example, the old one, old model for transportation, then it make traffic jam. And you know, now, for example, from my home to office around 10 minutes, but previously when I use my car is around 30 or more than 30 minutes. So then it means if the people cannot adapt to the new technology and their behavior still the old one, they will not get benefits from the technology. So therefore the government are trying always to promote and to educate the citizen and population that adopting new technology is very important.
In what ways does the government try?
Yes, through the television, through the mobile phone, the social media thing.
In school,
Oh yeah, including in schools and also other type of opportunity and media. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.